Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. We're back again. We're back at it again. We got some things to talk about, y'all. And there's a reason why I came on today to talk about tonight, to talk specifically about this tonight. And I'll explain here in just a minute. But hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Enjoying it's Wednesday, right? Dang. It's hump day, y'all. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying your hump day, okay? Hopefully it's a wonderful one. Hopefully it's a wonderful hump day. And for those of y'all who are wrapping up your day, hopefully you finish your day strong, right? And those of y'all who are watching across the pond right now, in other corners of the earth right here, and it's already Thursday, hopefully you're kicking Thursday in the butt. Start off strong, right? And finish strong, right? It's how you finish. It's how you start and how you finish, right? But anyway, guys, I know of some of us in some corners of the world. I see Kimberly Hightower just said iced in. So she must have been hit by that snowstorm or that ice storm. We got it a couple days ago, which was very, very interesting. But nonetheless, it's over now. Okay. And I am happy about that. All right. So hopefully you're staying warm. Hopefully you haven't lost power, because from my understanding, some portions of Texas, if I'm correct, is out of power. I'm hearing that crazy story right now. So my thoughts and prayers go out to every single last one of y'all Texans out there that don't have power. Okay. Hoblone said I didn't sleep last night. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that too. Damn. Okay, because you're powerless. Well, man, I appreciate you staying warm with us. We're gonna send you nothing but warm energy. Okay, for those of y'all who are right now with no power and all that. Kimberly Hightower just said, yeah, got power, can't complain. So that's good. Some people have power, some people don't. Okay. Everybody who's out there who's watching this show, first off, thanks so much for spending the time with me and wasting your battery life. If you're watching this on a phone or something like that, or an iPad, I really do appreciate you wasting the power to watch the show and spend time with the family. But also, we're sending nothing but positive, warm vibrations through this show to every single last one of y'all who happens to be out of power right now. Okay. Stay warm. We're thinking of you guys. Okay. Yes. Doreen Arnold said, sending warm energy. Exactly. Warm vibrations through the show. Okay. Man, I hopefully they get the power turned back on soon. Man, I'm thinking of you guys. Real talk. I can only imagine what's going on. Okay. And Tony B just said it's a negative. Wow. 26 Celsius here in Alberta, Canada. Stay safe, man. That's no joke. It is out here. Doreen just said Buffalo, New York is freezing. Well, it's New York, baby. It's like they got winter and summer. There's no other. They don't have 4 seasons. It's 2, and that's it. It's cold and hot, and that's it. You know what I mean? So definitely Buffalo, New York is freezing. Absolutely. It wouldn't be Buffalo, New York if it wasn't freezing, baby. All right. But everybody stay warm out there. Really, real talk. Okay. And for those of y'all who are watching, tuning in, just getting in right now, I appreciate you coming in. We got a lot to talk about. There were some things that I didn't get a chance to talk about the other show when we were talking about this subject. So I'm bringing that conversation into the show tonight. Hopefully there's no breaking news, no press conferences or anything, but that press conference cut 99% of what I was planning on talking about, which was a big chunk last night. So I didn't get a chance to do it. So we are going to be talking about that tonight. Okay. But before we get everything going, see a bunch of y'all starting to file in. I appreciate all y'all. Hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay, man, send it past 400 likes. I see y'all coming in. I see y'all, and I appreciate you guys. Seriously, I really do. Send it past 400. All right. And if you haven't done it yet, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, baby. Hit it, crush it. That really mean a lot. And if you want to, hit that join button down below, become a member of the Pascal Show family. Just consider it, all right? It helps keep these purple lights on, okay? And these other lights that are around me that shape this room, okay? So I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much, okay? So we got to get into some things, guys. Stay warm out there, my people that don't have power right now. I'm thinking about you guys. Stay warm, okay? Because I didn't know if that was actually true, 110% true. I just heard it through the grapevine. So I'm thinking about you guys, real talk. So stay warm out there. And we're going to try to keep this a warm show for you guys tonight, okay? Now, as we already know, there was a funeral that went down. This afternoon. It was more like early afternoon, late morning. I think it started later than it was expected to. But as you can see in this article here, Tyre Nichols' funeral begins with thousands of mourners descending on Memphis church. Vice President Kamala Harris and George Floyd's family are in attendance to hear Reverend Al Sharpton deliver the eulogy. There was a lot of people in the house. Okay. Long story short, a lot of people showed up, a lot of very important people in our world, a lot of movers and shakers for the movement, for the culture, all that stuff. All right. For justice, a lot of people showed up. So when I said highlights, I wanted to show you some of the moments that happened in this funeral. Now, the reason why I said that, the reason why I'm talking to you guys about this is because this morning I wasn't able to do the live stream of the actual full funeral service. All right. But I did get a chance to get some highlights, some moments from the actual funeral. So I wanted to show those with you guys and watch them together as a family, because I think that there were some really poignant moments in this ceremony that I think we should sit through and hold hands as a family and watch together. Okay. Because I know not everybody sat down and watched this 3-hour ceremony. So I figured, let me show you guys a few pieces, right? A few moments. So we're going to get into, there's a couple things, but first I think I'm going to pull up this news clip.
Good evening.
Because I think it does a fairly good job at giving us a broad stroke of of the actual funeral itself, the actual ceremony, and then of course there's a bunch of clips. Kamala Harris speaks, the Tyre Nichols' stepfather and his mother speak. His sister speaks as well. So I have all those clips so that we can all watch those moments. Okay. Very, very powerful moments. Some amazing music, some amazing performances, very heartfelt, very passionate funeral for sure. And yes, Karen 007, it was 3 hours long. Absolutely. I couldn't do the 3-hour stream, unfortunately, but I figured, let me show you guys some highlights nonetheless. So let's take a look at this. Okay. This news clip here really quick, and then we're going to go through some of these highlights. Okay. So let's rock and roll. Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. And do not forget to hit that like button, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. All right. We're almost in the 90s, baby. We are almost in the 90s, 90,000. We are almost there. Okay. And I already said this morning, but again, happy Black History Month, Zanita, and happy Black History Month to every single last one of y'all. Okay. But I'm about to play this clip. As soon as you hear it, hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear it. Okay. Let's rock and roll.
And welcome to the News Hour. The city of Memphis laid Tyre Nichols to rest today.
At his funeral, mourners celebrated Nichols' life and joined civil rights leaders from around the country in issuing a call for justice.
Don't give up the fight.
Laying her son to rest, Rovon Wells said Tyre Nichols' life was one of purpose.
I promise you the only thing that's keeping me going is the fact that I really truly believe my son was sitting here on an assignment from God. And I guess now his assignment is done.
A loving son, father, brother, FedEx employee, skateboarder, and friend to all, Nichols was the youngest of 4 siblings. His sister, Kiana Dixon.
I see the world showing him love and fighting for his justice. But all I want is my baby brother back.
His funeral comes 3 weeks after his death, after a brutal beating by Memphis police during a traffic stop. Tyre Nichols' death drew national attention and led Vice President Kamala Harris to Memphis today.
And we mourn with you. And the people of our country mourn with you. And
Harris criticized the officers who beat Nichols and said it was time for Congress to pass a federal law to reform policing, the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act.
it was not in the interest of keeping the public safe, because one must ask, was not it in the interest of keeping the public safe that Tyre Nichols would be with us here today?
The Reverend Al Sharpton, president of the National Action Network, delivered Tyre's eulogy.
I believe if that man had been white, you wouldn't have beat him like that night. We're not asking for nothing special. We're asking to be treated equal.
Among those in attendance, the families of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, reminders that Nichols' family now joins a larger community of Black families fighting for justice for loved ones killed by police. That includes Tiffany Rochelle. Her son Jalen was shot and killed by a Houston police officer last April.
We are fighting together, and all the mothers all over the world need to come together, and stop all of this.
No justice!
Nichols' death and the release of the brutal body camera footage documenting it have reignited calls for reform and accountability. 5 Memphis officers were fired and charged with murder. The department's specialized Scorpion unit has also been disbanded. Back at the funeral, his mother delivered a call to action and echoed the calls for legislative reform.
We need to get that bill passed. Amen. Because if we don't, that blood, the next child that dies, that blood is going to be on their hands. Yeah.
Once again, the national conversation on how to prevent police killings begins as another life ends. Tyre Nichols was 29 years old.
You know, what is heartbreaking about all this, again, is just, regardless, this is somebody that did not ask for this. This was a young man that didn't ask for any of this treatment. He didn't ask to be pulled over that we know of. He didn't provoke anything for this kind of problem to come his way. And yet the problems came right at his door and right at his car door and pulled him out of his car, which eventually led to his demise. And it's sad. Hoblone, absolutely. I've seen Fruitvale Station. Absolutely. A heartbreaking story as well, you know? And Jacqueline, I don't know. I really don't know, because we are constantly seeing these kinds of stories. They may not have been there's a lot of stories that are out here, and they may not be thrust out into the front of the conversation every single day because maybe they're being hidden, they're being thrown away so that we don't see them. You know what I mean? Or they're out here for 2 seconds and then they disappear, right? The most recent one that stayed forefront and in everybody's minds is George Floyd, because how could you forget what you saw? I still remember it. I still remember everything. You know, I still see it in Technicolor, right? I remember every little detail in that video. And that's the same thing with the footage that we saw where this young man lost his life. A public lynching. And it almost seems as if it's almost like we're back in the old times, if you really think about it, where they would actually do public lynchings. You know, this guy, stole, or this man was a fornicator, or this guy was a such and such, right? And then suddenly that guy loses his life in front of a room of people, lynched in front of everybody, right? We're seeing that in a way. Now we're seeing that. But now it's only because we don't even know why in this situation. We don't even know. Because these cops just felt some type of way? Because they just felt like doing some bad? Had some lust to see some man leak out on his and take in his last few breaths in front of him? I don't know. But this has been going on for a very, 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 very long time, guys. The only difference now is that we're able to pick up our phones and start filming it. That's the only reason why we are now seeing it thrust in the front in everyone's face, so that we make sure that these people, these monsters, these people, these, as Bush would say, evildoers, don't walk away unscathed, undetected. It's unfortunate, but this is the world that we live in now. That this phone could be the barrier between life and death, and between truth and lies. There's a lot of pro and con with it, guys. And Soviet Superstar is exactly right. You know, Rodney King was filmed, but we still haven't seen anything change. Okay? And Lisa Cox, hi, how you doing? From Barbados. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning into the show. But if you notice, as much as I complain about it too. Let me tell you, I complain about it too. Like, why is everybody on their doggone phones? Why every single time a fight breaks out, instead of somebody actually trying to stop the fight, people are filming it, right? It's a pro and con, right? There's the yin and the yang, right? Sometimes it's needed to have that because somebody might fib, somebody might lie, somebody might make up stuff to cover their own butt. And that film, that piece of video that's captured on a phone, camcorder, whatever it is, GoPro, security cam, whatever it is, could be the thing that throws that person in jail or exonerates that person as well. It sucks because you're sitting there, teetering back and forth, sitting on a fence on as far as the filming of things go. Because you don't want to see these things, but you kind of need to, because unfortunately, this is what's really happening in our world right now as we speak, whether we like it or not. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating, but nonetheless, and it's heartbreaking and it's hard to watch, but yes, sometimes we need to see the truth so that we can pass, so we can push forward, so that we can progress as a people. But let me say this, though. As someone just said a second ago, this is a tale as old as time. We have been seeing this for basically a millennia, okay? And nothing has changed. So the question I have for you is, what are we going to do? What can we do to actually make things change? We can bring in our Al Sharptons. We can bring in our Benjamin Crumps. We can bring in all of our activists that are out here talking. But what can we do to really make change out here? Because at the end of the day, a lot of talking without the walking doesn't get us closer to our goal, right? Which is safety and keeping our loved ones unharmed. Rainy J said, honestly, I honestly don't know. You know what? I feel you. I feel you. First one just said, sometimes video recording is all you could do. Yeah, still to this day. Sometimes that's the only thing you can do. Which is sad too, if you think about it. It's very sad. So, let me pull up some more of these videos. But obviously, this has obviously made me really think about a lot of stuff. And I'm going to say something here in a little bit that has to do with Kamala, our vice president, that maybe some of you guys will like and maybe some of you guys won't. It's just an opinion, but I'm going to say it when it's done. I really am. So I'm just going to say, I'm just giving you guys a fair warning on that here in just a little bit. But let me continue. Let me show you guys some more of these other highlights, or some highlights from this ceremony celebrating Tyre Nichols' life. His sister spoke a little bit. So I wanted to show you guys that conversation here as well. It's a short clip, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. Hold on. And then I got, hold up. Tyler, thank you so much for the 2. Appreciate it. We need real comprehensive legislation. Yes, but I feel like, okay, I do agree with that. Of course. But who's going to administer it? I'm holding on to that, what you said here. We're going to talk about it here in a second, okay? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it here, okay? But let me show you guys this video, okay? It's from the sister. Let's rock and roll.
Tyre was my baby brother. Him and I are 11 years apart. He was so special to me, and he loved me, and I loved him dearly. You know, being the oldest of 3 boys, I had to watch my brothers take them places that I probably didn't want to take them, watch them at times when I didn't want to watch them. But with Ty, I didn't mind. He never wanted anything but to watch cartoons and a big bowl of cereal. So it was pretty easy to watch him. On the night of January 7th, my brother was robbed of his life. his passions and his talents, but not his light. When my mother called me and said my baby brother was gone, I lost my faith. I cried. I screamed at God, asking how could he let this happen? And then my cries turned to anger, and anger turned to deep sorrow. And a pain I never felt when those monsters murdered my baby brother. It left me completely heartbroken. I see the world showing him love and fighting for his justice. But all I want is my baby brother back. And even in his demise, he was still polite. He asked him to please stop. He was still the polite young man that he always was. He asked him to please stop. And they did it. And that's why my family will never be the same. And I will just always love my baby brother forever. Thank you.
You know, it does really say something about who this young man was on even when he was getting attacked. I mean, it really does say something about who he was as a human being. And I know some people are like, oh, you know, because I've seen some commentators go in and say some really harsh and really rude things. And I got to be honest, to me, this is somebody who had, from what I'm seeing, a tremendous heart, had a good soul. And the fact that his sister was sitting there going, like, he just wanted peace, and he never hit back. He never went in on them. Nothing. It really shows the type of man he really grew up to be. Again, it's just terrifying and devastating to think even someone who is a law-abiding citizen, who is simply just taking photos of sunsets, jumping into a car, he still is he's still subjected to losing his life. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. Okay. What up, T? He said they only say harsh and rude things about the same groups of people for clickbait and views. Trust me, we are going to be looking into some things here in just a minute, okay? I'm just going to keep it straight 100, all right? Because there are some things in here. And I've been sitting on this one, y'all. I've been sitting on this, and I'm like, man, so it's coming. I promise you, it's coming. On this show, I am showing you this. We are talking about it. I'm sure you already know what I'm talking about, but I ain't going to give you any hints, okay? But real quick, Stephanie, thank you so much for the 5 body cam video released same day as Tyre. Anthony Marcus Franklin shot in Austin, Texas, January 15th, while down on the ground. I'm just so angry about these. I didn't know about this Anthony Franklin story, but I'll look into it when I get some time. In fact, I am putting it in my notebook. Hold on real quick. Anthony Marcus Franklin. Austin, Texas. Okay. It is in the book. I'll check it out as soon as I can, okay? But again, someone else, Night Owl 990, thank you so much for being a member for the past 2 months. I really appreciate you and your support for the past 2 months. Thank you so much. All right. But this is what we hear about all the time. But this one is different. This one hits a tiny bit different, not only because majority of these cops were black. I'm not talking about that. Yes, that is an added piece, but I'm talking about the fact that this is a guy who didn't have any type of criminal record. He wasn't being pulled over for anything crazy, not like he had drug possession or that he was being unruly. Wasn't like there was an incident that he was being pulled over for example, like attacking somebody, so on and so forth. This was a guy driving down the road and he got pulled over. And something that Al Sharpton said in the press conference yesterday before the funeral, he even said something that I totally forgot. And it's absolutely 110% true. Not once did any of those cops ask for license or registration from what we heard and saw. Not one of them, y'all. Not one of them. They pulled him over and just said, get out. They just said, get out the car. And then they rocked the dude while he was on the ground. And then he's like, yo, you guys are going too far. What the heck? What's going on? He didn't hit nobody. He didn't swing at nobody. The only thing he did was get up and run because he was terrified. And I get that piece. You're getting just pummeled for no reason. Like, what did I do? What happened here? What did I do? I wouldn't be surprised if I got up and ran. It's terrifying stuff. First one is right, yeah. I didn't hear him curse not once. He was just like, stop, yo, chill, guys, dudes, guys, what's going on? What did I do? What's going on? All right. Rainy J, you're right. His brother said he wasn't a fighter. Nah. Exactly. You're doing too much. Exactly. All those things. Like, what the hell, man? What in the hell? We got to continue. We got another clip.
Ron Vaughn.
Let me show you guys this. This is the clip where the mother and stepfather speak up, okay, and talk as well. So I wanted to share this with you guys as well. And then we got one more clip within this funeral, which is going to lead us into a little bit of a discussion. So let's take a listen to this, all right? And I have to cut in and out, obviously, because of fair use and all that. But just so you guys know where I'm going, all right? Be sure. So, sorry, I was putting you guys in slow-mo, or putting the chat in slow mode. That's all I was trying to say. Sorry about that. I put you guys in slow mode. Sorry about that. See, I got to click off. I got to mute the mic so I can play the video so that there's no echo and stuff. It's one thing that they messed up on this program, on this streaming program, that just aggravates the hell out of me. Okay? So, I was just letting you guys know that I was putting it in slow mode. Okay? Anyway, let's rock and roll. Be sure to hit the number one, if you can hear the video. Let's rock and roll.
Wills and Rodney Wills have borne such pain for us. And they didn't want to speak, but I just think that we need to just hear them say something. This is their son. This is their struggle. And I know they're going to have weak days. Let us be their strength. Let's hear from the parents of Tyre. I'd like to start by saying thank you for everybody's support. This has been a journey that's not going to end here. It's just the beginning. We're looking forward to passing some bills. We're looking forward to getting justice for all the families over there, not just ours.
We're going to be talking about that
This
bill.
is a continuous fight that we have to fight for. We have to fight for justice.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to let these people brutalize our kids. To have my siblings up here, my wife, and it's very hard for my wife. You know, this is her baby son, and it's nothing like your baby boy. When we got the news, it was very, very difficult. It was surrounded by lies, deceit, trying to cover it up. But as they say, what's done in the dark will always come to the light. And the light of day is justice for Tyre.
Justice for Tyre.
Justice for all the families that lost loved ones through brutality of police or anybody. And I can't say enough about how this community, how this nation, and how this world has came together to support my family, to support my wife, and to support me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out to pay tribute to my son. Tyre was a beautiful person, and for this to happen to him is just unimaginable. I promise you the only thing that's keeping me going is the fact that I really truly believe my son was sent here on an assignment from God.
Yes, ma'am.
And I guess now his assignment is done and he's been taken home. I want to thank, yes. I want to thank all the community activists for being there for my family. I want to thank the chief of police for acting swiftly. The district attorney, the state of Tennessee. I want to thank my lawyers. Mr. Ben Crump.
Yes, sir.
And especially Kareem Ali. He has been our rock. He has been our rock. I just need whatever that George Floyd bill we needed passed. We need to take some action because there should be no other child that should suffer the way my son and all the other parents here have lost their children. We need to get that bill passed.
Amen.
Because if we don't, that blood, the next child that dies, that blood is going to be on their hands. Thank you.
it's really heartbreaking to hear this. I mean, clearly, obviously, to hear any woman or any mother or any parent speak on behalf of grieving because of losing their own baby. Uh, no person should ever experience this, obviously, right? No parent should ever experience that, right? The child should be burying you, not the other way around, right? So I can only imagine how the family is feeling right now. Of course, my condolences to them and all that, to the entire family and all the other families that were there too, because Breonna Taylor's family is there, George Floyd's family is there as well. I mean, that says a lot to me. That says a lot. And it says also that it's almost like they're reliving their own tragedies as well and sharing that with this family. So they're all grieving all over again. So I can only imagine what the families, not only just Tyree's family's feeling, but all the other families that are reliving their own tragedies all over again, because they keep thinking that, man, can this be the last time? Could this possibly be the last time that we talk about or see another young person lose their lives at the hands of the police? That's the one thing that we all keep wondering. Now, I have to say this, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, because I know some of y'all might be like, man, Pascal, you making it the glass half empty, not the glass half full. But I'm still wondering when we're going to have that moment when we are going to see there be the last and final person before there's actual change. Because as she was speaking, it's frustrating, because as she was speaking, somebody out there was like, yeah, he's going to change the world. He's going to, something along the lines of that. Like, he's going to change the world. This moment's going to change the trajectory of how police are treating civilians, all that kind of stuff, whatever, right? Something along the lines of that. And in my head, she's nodding her head, being like, my son's name is going to change the world. Maybe it may be one of the names that changes the world, but does the buck stop here? And what's crazy is that this is all up to police. It's all up to police. Or if any of these bills get passed and whatnot, these acts, like whatever it does, whatever it is, it's up to them to make these changes. Because if they start implementing new procedure and start treating civilians like civilians, then maybe there'll be less men and women trying to run, cowering in fear, and all that. Maybe. But it ain't going to happen anytime soon. Like I said, don't mean to be a negative Nancy here, y'all. Don't mean to be negative, but on some real stuff. I see this woman here who's grieving, the mother of Tyre Nichols. Somebody screams out from the audience, his name's going to change the world. And I keep wondering, will it? Something that you guys got to think about too. And it could be Congress. Obviously, it's the government. It's Congress. It's how they let these things keep going. If there were certain bills or whatever enacted, signed into play, maybe this kind of BS would never happen anymore. Maybe Tyre Nichols would be the last and final name ever uttered, being synonymous to police brutality here in this country. But I still wonder, does the buck really stop here or no? I just saw this in the corner of my eye, so I wanted to pull this up. Hybrid Pisces said, thank you so much for the comment. She said, why do you think public reaction has been weak compared to other cases? Lack of racial issue or fatigue becoming desensitization? Okay, so let me say this. I think the only reason why that the reaction has not been as, maybe as bombastic and as in your face as, say, George Floyd, is because right now it's peaceful. It's peaceful protests. Maybe there's a few flare-ups here and there, but there really hasn't been anything crazy. No one's throwing off Molotov cocktails. No one's trying to steal cars. There's no anarchy in the streets. So as far as public reaction, the protests are still happening in the streets. Absolutely. But I don't think what we're used to, we're not seeing right now. So just because it's a peaceful reaction does not mean that there isn't a public reaction. It most definitely is a public reaction. And it's so much a public reaction that every single time that we go live and talk about this, we all come together and watch this and talk about this as a family. I see other content creators talking about this, even the ones, and I'm talking about not the ones that are trying to throw out salaciousness and trying to say certain things about the family and all that. There's people out here trying to say that say things, terrible things about these families, about this family, which is a waste of time because it has nothing to do with getting justice. But outside of that, there's a lot of other people, a lot of other news media, etc., talking about this. And of course, you're going to have the pushback on the other side of the world when it comes to media, right? You're going to have your Tucker Carlsons, you're going to have your Fox News BS thrown out here saying all kinds of things, trying to find any excuse to justify it, to stay on the side of the blue. But you cannot deny what happened here is absolutely appalling and unjust. Doesn't matter if this man was white or black. This should not have happened to this young man. Lack of racial issue. There's plenty of racial issues within this. Plenty. Okay? In fact, we are going to be talking about something in just a minute. Okay? And of course, fatigue becoming desensitization or being desensitized. Let me just say this. As far as that side goes, desensitized. Yeah, we are getting desensitized to a certain extent because we see these almost every other week, every other month. We see something like this. It's the same thing as whenever we hear about mass tragedies that happen, aside from ones where 4 students lose their lives inside of a house and no one knows who did it. I'm talking about school mass tragedies, tragedies that happen in malls, carnivals, parades, huge social gatherings, right? Those are happening every single day now. We're desensitized as F about them, but we still looking. We still talking about them. We still talking about them. So I don't know, Hybrid Pisces. I don't know if there's a fatigue because it's still being talked about. We still see it. Now, there may be a fatigue in movement. Now, what I mean by that is, and just ride with me on this for a second, because I know some of y'all are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about, Pascal? The hell? Well, let me try to explain something to you, okay? There may be a desensitization. There we go. There may be a desensitization, all right, or a numbness in movement, where people, of course, are getting out. They're going on their I couldn't say that word to save my life, but you got people that are going on back in the day, putting a black putting a black block on their Insta, throwing up Black Lives Matter or hashtag BLM. Where are those same people? What happened to them? 2 years ago, everybody and their mama wanted to be a part of that. Everybody wanted to be a part of that movement. Nowadays, meh, where is it? What happened? I think it became numb. People become disheartened. People lose the drive. They get focused on other things, right? Like whatever the heck it is. It may be like Kim Kardashian did what? Kanye did what? Right? And then we're busy on something else. We just, squirrel. We're off into that next new shiny object, right? 2 years ago, everybody gave a damn about this, about police brutality, saying, how dare they? This became mainstream. And now we have another young man who lost their life. Yes, people are talking about it. Maybe it's not as big of a movement or of a reaction, but people do know about this tragedy. I just think they're kind of like, well, we tried it last time, but what good did it do? We tried, and what happened? Nothing. Still young black men and women, still white men and women, still people of all races and colors losing their lives out here. Every single day, we keep on trying to push the needle, and it gets pushed right back in our faces. So I think that instead of it being a numbness, okay, or being desensitized, I think majority of the world now is having a little bit of a defeatist attitude. They realize, damn, it's really hard to make things move. Damn, this is a lot harder than I thought. But I ain't got time for this. Like, shoot, man, I want my yays and I want my J's, and I want my fast cars, and I want to get this cute girl's number and make money and live my life. And if it does happen again, yeah, I'll stand there in solidarity and put that black box back on my IG. But only when it's convenient for me. When there are actual real activists out here, not seasonal activists, but actual activists out here that are busting their hump every single day, just trying to make a small move, just make one small thing happen. But we don't see them every day. We don't, because they're busy trying to make things happen. And then when it does happen, that's when those other guys who are busy trying to get their J's and Yays and their Ferraris and, trying to look all Andrew Tate up in this biz naive, they'll suddenly show up and act like, oh, yeah, I was there since the jump, bro. It's sad, but true. So sure, 2 years ago, when everybody didn't have anything better to do but sit on their hands and avoid the Rona, eat up these checks that we were getting. Okay, I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of the check. You know what I'm saying? The check that we all got. What is it called? What is that check called? I forgot. What the heck is the check? Damn. I forgot the name of it. Stimulus check. Thank you. The stimmy. Okay. We all got them stimmies. And we're sitting there just trying to dodge that Rona like this, like the Heisman Trophy. Just, you know what I mean? Just that. Right? We had time to think about these things. Now we're back at the regular grind. So it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe. Moving on. You see what I'm saying? But we do need more people to wake the F up. We do need more people that wake the F up and realize that there's some serious stuff going on. And we are in dire need of other leaders out here. I'm telling, look, man, hold up. Look at this man. I mean, and I'm not here trying to throw shade, but this is all we got. All we got is Al Sharpton out here speaking on behalf. That's all we got, y'all. Who's going to take his place? Where are those people? Is it going to be Benjamin Crump? Is he the new Sharpton? But I'm just saying, this is all we got. Speaking on behalf of people that are getting brutalized out here in these streets. You know what I mean? And I have mad love and respect for Al Sharpton. I'm not trying to throw any shade toward this man. None. I'm just saying, this is all we got right now. No protege, no apprentice. We don't see any other people stepping forward and speaking. Where is it? Vinocton. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. And I'm just asking the questions, okay? I'm just asking these doggone questions because we need to know about these questions. You know, we need answers. But it is interesting. We started to give a damn. And then we kind of do, but we kind of don't. It's weird. Okay? But there is a bit of being desensitized towards this. Absolutely. But people need to realize that we all need to be viscerally shook by this because this could be our children in the future if we don't do something about this right now. And it won't only just be Black men and women losing their lives in these streets. It has been and it will continue to be everybody. You just in these streets in the wrong place at the wrong time and you just match the description or you just anger somebody to a certain extent. Yo, like you get a police officer mad because you said something within your right to speech, but he doesn't like it. I'm just saying. You could be in some serious trouble. So, but I'm glad that Pisces, hybrid Pisces did ask that question because that is a good question. All right. But we all do need to start giving a damn, y'all. We really do need to start giving a damn. Even more. We do. But also, Congress, the government, the president, all of them need to start giving a damn too. Because if they don't give a damn, all of our voices screaming at them and they don't do anything, we become voiceless. We are screaming and trying to speak words upon deaf ears. The only way that we can really make things happen is within the government. I'm sorry. But a gamer lover just said, Pascal for president. Let me tell you something. Can you imagine me trying to... That would be hilarious, okay? I'd be sitting there going, it's because of the government. Oh my God. I'd be like, y'all, this is getting crazy out here in these streets. Man, I can't. But still, can you imagine me trying to run? Man, that would be a circus. Oh, it'd be entertaining at least. Oh my God, I'd make it memorable. But all I'm trying to say is it really has to do with the powers that be, the people that we elect into office, the people that we have elected into offices. It's all that. We can't get safety from police if we are not picking and choosing the right people into office. And what's sad about it is everybody's in the freaking in the politic game, right? As soon as they get elected, they turn into a politician, right? It's all about, doing this, and this, and playing games and getting a favor here and a favor there. They're giving you false promises all the live long day. Oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this because America. Because I love America like apple pie and American cheese. I'm going to do everything I can to eradicate and abolish this, that, and the. And then what do? Nothing. They do nothing. They just sit there and maintain the status quo. There are a few people out here that are actually trying to make a few things happen. A few, and they trying, but have they made any moves? And they're all playing the politician game. Okay? I mean, I'm sorry. I had to say what I said. All right? They're just trying to maintain the status quo, babies. And it's funny that you guys talked about this because we're going into Kamala Harris's speech, which we got to listen to because I thought it was very interesting. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew exactly that she was going up there to make a speech, but I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Let's take a listen to this one. All right. Let's take a listen to this one. Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear it. Let's rock and roll.
And she's here, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to stop right there, but you can see her right here in the corner right here. She was sitting right next to, she's right next to the family. I get it. She's the vice president of these United States. Okay. So, but I just think this is very interesting. It's very interesting. Of course, she's sitting right next to her. Okay. Let's not forget. It is a new year of our Lord, 2023. Okay. We're in the second month of the year of our Lord 2023. All right. Think about it. I'm going to continue. Let's go.
I was going to be polite about it, but since y'all stood up and clapped so long, wouldn't it be nice for her to share a few words with us? Come on up here so they can see you.
I'm so sorry. But I'm going to ask you guys, do you really think that this was just on a whim? That Al Sharpton just suddenly asked her to come up and speak? Again, I'm not trying to throw shade on Kamala yet. But feels a little planned, don't you think? Okay. Okay. Let's just keep going. Let's.
Good afternoon, church. Reverend Sharpton, I want to thank you for all you do for so many. There are so many families here who have been personally touched by your leadership and your strength and your fellowship. Reverend Dr. Lawrence Turner, thank you for welcoming us. Keisha Lance Bottom, Mitch Landrew. We are here on behalf of the people of our country and our President, Joe Biden. And we are here to celebrate the life of Tyre Nichols. Mrs. Wells, Mr. Wells, you have been extraordinary in terms of your strength, your courage, and your grace. And we mourn with you, and the people of our country mourn with you. And I just have, I'm gonna be very brief. Mothers around the world, when their babies are born, pray to God when they hold that child, that that body and that life will be safe for the rest of his life. Yet we have a mother and a father who mourn the life of a young man who should be here today. They have a grandson who now does not have a father. His brothers and sister will lose the love of growing old with their baby brother. And when we look at this situation, this is a family that lost their son and their brother through an act of violence at the hands and the feet of people who had been charged with keeping them safe.
She's totally reading something, by the way, guys. I'm just letting you guys know. So she is saying something that's very true. I'm not knocking that. But I thought this was on the whim, out of nowhere. Like she was going to grab this mic that happened to be there ready for her to grab so that she can do off the cuff a speech. But if you can see where her eyes are, she's looking down at a piece. I don't know what she's looking at. A napkin? Cocktail napkin? I don't know what it is, but she's looking at something. But she's shooting from the hip. Right? Ain't that what she's supposed to be doing? She came prepared. Yes, Raven. Yes, Raven McCall. Okay? She came prepared, which is weird. It's fine, but if this was off the cuff, why does she have a speech? That's kind of weird. But let's continue.
And when I think about the courage and the strength of this family, I think it demands that we speak truth. And with this, I will say, this violent act was not in pursuit of public safety. It was not in the interest of keeping the public safe, because one must ask, was not it in the interest of keeping the public safe that Tyre Nichols would be with us here today? Was he not also entitled to the right to be safe? So when we talk about public safety, let us understand what it means in its truest form. Tyre Nichols should have been safe. So I'll just close by saying this. I was, as a senator, as a United States Senator, a co-author of the original George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And as Vice President of the United States, we demand that Congress pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Joe Biden will sign it. And we should not delay and we will not be denied. It is non-negotiable. And with that, I'll just, Pastor, if you don't mind, one of my favorite verses in Scripture is Luke chapter 1, verse 79, which tells us God will help us to shine a light upon those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet in the way of peace. Let our memory of Tyre shine a light on the path toward peace and justice. Thank you.
All right. Outside of all the shade, all right, because I just, to me, let's keep it real. If she was not expecting to go up there and make a speech, she had notes that I just found very interesting. But at the same time, the other argument is she is the vice president of the United States. So for them to not ask her to go up there would be wild for her not to go up there, right? And speak. But I do think that there's some things that are going on. Not only is she trying to get a bill passed, so she's using this opportunity to push and talk about that bill, right? Because obviously a lot of us would like this bill, the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, to be signed, sealed, and delivered, right? So, of course, she can't just go up there and just really wing it. But it is just interesting nonetheless, right? That she came there to make her presence known, but she still ended up making a speech. And of course, I feel like if they weren't there, let's just say, if Kamala wasn't there, or Benjamin Crump was doing the eulogy, or running this ceremony, and Al Sharpton happened to be in the crowd, for a fact he probably would have been like, "Hey, come up here." Doesn't everybody want to hear from Al Sharpton real quick? And he would have gone up there. Would he have something written down? Probably not, because I think he's done so many speeches like this. It's a cakewalk for him, right? So with all shade pushed aside, I can understand her being here, and of course coming with notes, right? Making sure she doesn't say anything wrong, so on and so forth. It just is interesting because I feel like, you could still speak from the heart and write and read something from notes. Absolutely. It's totally okay. But I think it's weird when we already know she's there, she's going to talk. And she's going to use this opportunity to push the bill that they've been trying to push for 2 years now. That did not pass. Did not pass 2 years ago. So they're going to try their mightiest. She's going to use this opportunity, of course, to push this bill. And the thing is, of course, a lot of you guys are wondering what's going on. And yes, Tyler, thank you so much. Yes, it passed in the House, but it got annihilated. It got turned down in the Senate. Not a big surprise to me with the Senate. Now, some of you guys might be wondering what this is. So let's pull this up. Wow, this is tiny print. Hamburger. Got to pull this all the way up. All right. So they tried to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act of 2021. So it looks like if everything goes according to the plan, they're going to try to do this again for 2023. Again, as Tyler gave us that update, it went through the House, and then it was denied, or shut down in the Senate. Okay? So let's take a look at this so that we actually know what this act, what they're trying to pass, and why she brought it up, and why they're pushing even harder right now. Also, I want to point out too, real quick too, that Trump spoke out as well. He was one of the first people to talk about this, about what happened to Tyre and all that. And to me, I look at it as some of them are looking at this as an opportunity because elections are coming again very, very soon. We're going to be hearing a lot, like things are starting to rev up again, guys. It's starting to get political again. And if Trump, we already know he's already going to be back into it, okay? He about to get back into the swing of things, and he will most likely start his campaign. He obviously used this as an opportunity to hop on this and speak on it and be one of the first to say something, right? He is running in 2024, and it is 2023, and the campaigns are going to be starting here very, very soon. You see what I'm saying? Just saying. Then you got Kamala Harris hopping up, making her appearance at the actual funeral. She is speaking not only on behalf of the family and crying with them, shedding tears, but she is also trying to enact one of this George Floyd Justice in Policing Act right now. Just interesting. It's just interesting, okay? Whatever side of the fence you stand on, okay? And it doesn't matter. We are a happy place here, okay? If you are down for Trump, if you're not for Trump, it don't matter. I don't care, okay? With all due respect, we're here to talk about these stories, okay? But as you can see, some of these people might be using this opportunity as a leg up. So let's get into this. This bill addresses a wide range of policies and issues regarding policing practices and law enforcement accountability. It increases accountability for law enforcement misconduct, restricts the use of certain policing practices, enhances transparency and data collection, and establishes best practices and training requirements. The bill enhances existing enforcement mechanisms to remedy violations by law enforcement. Among other things, it does the following: lowers the criminal intent standard from willful to knowing or reckless to convict a law enforcement officer for conduct in a federal prosecution. Limits qualified immunity as a defense to liability in a private civil action against a law enforcement officer, and grants administrative subpoena power to the DOJ in pattern or practice investigations. It establishes a framework to prevent and remedy racial profiling by law enforcement at the federal, state, and local levels. It also limits the unnecessary use of force and restricts the use of no-knock warrants, chokeholds, and carotid holds. The bill creates a national registry, the National Police Misconduct Registry, to compile data on complaints and records of police misconduct. This is probably one of the parts that I like a lot as well here. It also establishes new reporting requirements, including on the use of force, officer misconduct, and routine policing practices, ergo stops and searches. So imagine, real quick, this kind of stopped me here, but I'm going to do this really quick. Imagine if we had a national registry, a national police misconduct registry. Imagine that. Every single time somebody does something really bad, because we're about to get into our headline story here in just a second, right? But imagine if they were doing all of that These guys are doing all bad things. And you could just go to a one-stop shop. Clickety-clack. Demetrius Haley. He's one of the 5, right? And you can actually see their records, complaints, any misconduct they've ever conducted. Imagine that. Kind of like a missing persons database that majority of the country has, but not the entire country has yet. A missing persons database where all you got to do is type in their names, and if you're looking for like a Gabby Petito situation, Kylie Rodney, so on and so forth, right? There's a girl now, Xylee, I forgot her last name, but there's a new girl that's missing right now in south of the border right now. I'm forgetting her name and I feel like a jerk, but you could easily, just like that, type in Officer Demetrius Haley. Clickety-clack, boom. You get their full setup, full data, complaints, records, and records of police misconduct. That is pretty damn dope and would be incredible because then you can actually see who the bad guys be. Yes, Xylee Flores. Thank you so much. That's who I was talking about. She is currently missing right now as we speak, right? But wouldn't that be dope to see? Let's continue. Finally, it directs DOJ to create uniform accreditation standards for law enforcement agencies and requires law enforcement officers to complete training and on racial profiling, implicit bias, and the duty to intervene when another officer uses excessive force. Now, let me say this, okay? I don't know about this part, the part of the training on racial profiling, implicit bias, and of course the duty to intervene when another officer is using excessive force. I don't know about all that because aren't they already trained to learn that ish too? Aren't they already learning that? Aren't they already learned in that? Aren't they supposed to already intervene if a cop goes a little over the line, gets a little too dirty, hairy? They're supposed to be like, yo, bro, chill, man, chill. I got this. Back up, man. Back up, Officer Smith. Right? Stand down. I ain't got your 6 no more. Right? Aren't they supposed to be doing that already? So that part, they supposed to be doing that. Racial profiling should have already been part of their training. So I get the need to put that in there, but at the same time, racial profiling should already be a part of that. You feel me? Implicit bias, still part of the racial profiling thing. And then, of course, that part where they're intervening when another officer is going too far. Well, they should have already been practicing that. And clearly they haven't been practicing that very well at all because we got people like Tyre Nichols gone from this planet because 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 officers don't know how to keep their chill. None of those guys, when we saw that video, none of those guys stopped. None of them. And those guys are well trained. Had to have been. But 0 of them were intervening when another cop was using excessive force. So maybe they got to go back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they got to go back to basics, being a cop 101. You know what I'm saying? When a cop goes dirty hairy on a innocent civilian, you need to step in. Officer Johnson, you need to tell Officer Smith to stand down. And it doesn't matter if they're going to be mad at you later on or look at you like you a snitch or a rat or whatever, a do-gooder. But I feel like a lot of cops will just follow in suit because it's this mob mentality type thing. And they don't want to get devoured up by all the other wolves that in their pack, right? But I'm glad we talked about this. But one of the things that I find very interesting, not only to, of course, stop and remedy racial profiling by law enforcement at the federal, state, and local levels. But the other thing that really got me going is having a misconduct registry. And the reason why I say that is because of the title down below. Okay, loves, we got to get into it. Revealed 4 out of the 5 Memphis cops, all right, charged in the demise of Tyre Nichols have been disciplined in the past, including excessive force. Remember I just said that a second ago? Ain't that funny? Including it for excessive force and failing to respond to complaints. They all have extreme 4 out of the 5. That's a lot of them, by the way. All were doing terrible things for a good while, for years, y'all. None of them gave a damn. None of them gave a damn. All right? So I'm going to get into this article. Sorry, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything here. Yes, that was the last one. Thank you, Tyler, for the $2. I appreciate it. Okay? Crazy, right? So let's take a look at this, shall we? These guys have tarnished pasts as cops. And didn't Derek Chauvin have a tarnished past too? Tarnished record as well? He had a very, very murky police record as well. Didn't he too? He was a dirty cop too. So this is very interesting. See what I'm saying? This almost feels like a paint by numbers situation, except this is times 5. Okay, it's not just one cop. It's 5 of them. If not more, obviously, because there's been 7 people in trouble, 7 cops in trouble. 2 of them are they've been suspended. They haven't been fired. They're on basically paid leave right now. Okay, they're surfing a desk right now. We'll talk. Okay. So, and I got some interesting information about the 7th cop. So we're going to get into that in just a minute, okay? So do me a favor, guys. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, all right, before we continue. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Send it past. I would love to see it get past 1K. That would be amazing. So hit that like button down below. Let's get it past 1K. A like doesn't cost a thing. It just helps the story, helps get the word out here, and helps this channel grow. And of course, another way of helping this channel grow is by simply hitting that subscribe button, baby. All right? It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Pascal Show family. Anyway, let's get into this. I got a super chat really quick. Kelly Wenslick, thank you so much for the 5. Just saw that you were live. It's not about race anymore. I had a cop behind me today for about 10 minutes, and I was terrified. These times are scary. Yeah, I feel like everybody gets a little, whenever they see a cop get right behind them and everything. I mean, yeah, people are scared. Okay? People are hella scared nowadays. All right? Hella scared. And rightfully so. Okay? Rightfully so. Let's get into this. Newly released personnel files show that 4 of the 5 Memphis cops charged in Tyre Nichols' demise have been disciplined in the past. And I don't even know if they've really been disciplined in the past. You feel me? Because they're still out there. They're still protecting us, or they were still protecting and serving. So how disciplined were they? What kind of repercussions did they suffer for these complaints from other people? That's what I'd like to know. But let's get into this. The files released by the city Tuesday night detail how officers Demetrius Haley and Emmett Martin were both disciplined twice since 2019. Do you realize 2019 wasn't very long ago, guys? While Justin Smith and Desmond Mills were disciplined once during their careers. A 5th cop charged in Tyre's situation, Tadarius Bean, has never been reprimanded, however. The personnel files obtained by WREG detail how the 4 officers were previously reprimanded for a slew of violations, including excessive force. I'm just going to highlight this. Excessive force, failing to search suspects, failure to issue a report, and failure to maintain proper control of a vehicle? Say what? All 5 officers have since been dismissed from their positions in the MPD and are now facing second-degree M, and it could move up to first degree. Give it time. Kidnapping, official misconduct, and oppression charges in the fatal demise of Nichols. Here are their mugshots. Unbelievable. Demetrius Haley, 30. This guy right here. This man right here. Okay? This be Demetrius. Let's take a look at this. Was reprimanded twice by MPD department, once in 2021 and again in 2022. And wasn't 2022 just like 2 seconds ago? Okay. He was accused on June 17th of 2021 of using excessive force when he put handcuffs on a woman in a February 21st arrest. Haley was assisting another officer at the time who was accused of dislocating the woman's shoulder. He received a written reprimand for that incident. A written reprimand. Okay. Less than 1 year later, January 31st, 2022, a year ago yesterday, Haley was again written up by his superiors for losing control of a police vehicle when he was driving. Personnel documents say he hit the curb and struck a stop sign with the front grille of the police car and was issued a traffic citation for striking a fixed object. Interesting. So even cops can get tickets. Interesting. While they're being cops, that's very interesting. Haley apparently told his supervisors he was responding to an officer calling for help when he crashed his vehicle, and the violation against him was dismissed. So he could have just said, I was trying to help this dude, and then they just go, oh, okay, if you were just trying to help this other guy, then all right, we'll dismiss that. Interesting. Emmett Martin, 30, was also received 2 violations during his time in the Memphis Police Department. The first time came on March 22nd, 2019, when Martin and a partner transported 2 suspects in the back of a squad car, only for an officer on the next shift to find a handgun on the vehicle's floor. Martin said he did pat down the suspects, but was accused of not searching the vehicle. He was suspended for 3 days without pay for the incident. Then on November 10th, 2020, Martin was again written up for failing to issue a report when he responded to a domestic disturbance call on September 27th. He said he did not believe the report was necessary because everyone inside the house was drunk and the parties involved requested a report not to be taken. Martin was then suspended for 1 day without pay. Desmond Mills, 32, meanwhile, was written up just once for his response to a traffic stop on March 21st, 2019. Authorities say a suspect in the case resisted arrest and was allegedly pinned to the ground, but the violation was not sustained. He was, however, given a written reprimand for failing to complete a response to resistance form and for rough and careless handling of equipment. Mills said that while conducting the traffic stop, he accidentally dropped his PDA, and it was run over by another vehicle. And Justin Smith, 28, was issued a citation for failure to maintain proper control after a wreck on January 24th. Documents show that he and another person were injured. All 3 vehicles were damaged. A 2-day suspension without pay was ordered. Now they and Bean, the 4 and the 5th one Bean, are all being held. Well, not anymore, but they were being held. Okay, and now they've been bailed out. But as you can see, these guys all have, some things on their records that do not look very becoming. Okay? Now, there we go. Now, one other piece is about Horde 26. The 6th Memphis police officer, Preston Hemphill, was also suspended without pay for his role in the brutal situation with Tyre Nichols on January 7th, but has so far been spared any criminal charges. Obviously, he was the one wearing the body cam footage at the very beginning of the situation. He was the one going, I hope they stomp his ass and all that, right? He obviously did not follow them and administer any more beatings or anything onto Tyre, but he was there, and he was one of the people that actually shot his taser. So he might catch something, but will he get something big? I don't know. Okay? I do not know. All right? But this is Horde 26 we're talking about here, y'all. So in the video, we already know he was violently he is seen pulling Nichols out of the car violently while hitting him on the ground with a taser, later saying, I hope they stop after Nichols ran away. Now, this is the other weird thing. The 7th officer, who was immediately identified, has also been relieved of duty without pay. But he has not been identified. And I don't know why they have not identified the 7th dude. Who is this 7th dude? Now, Police Chief Davis, Saralyn C.J. Davis, has said an specific number of officers besides the 5 initially implicated remained under investigation for policy infractions stemming from the arrest of Nichols. And of course, we already know about the EMTs and all that, okay? And the ridiculousness that was going on with these EMTs as well. But Horde 26 has been relieved. Basically, he's doing desk duty. Officers, the 7th officers, the same thing. Okay, doing the same doggone thing. Riding a desk, but has not caught anything as of yet. Now, there is something I wanted to share to you guys. It is something else here that I found a little bit weird. So I wanted to pull it up here really quick, because things are running in the rumor mill. I don't know how much of it is true or not. I really don't know how much of it is true. Hold on, let me see. Let me see here. I think this is it. No, it's this. Now, they are saying this is only in the rumor mill. This is only in the rumor mill. but I wanted to share with you guys because this is what's percolating out here in these streets in regards to this. People are wondering who the seventh officer, who could be the seventh officer. So I wanted to show you guys the possibility. So it's right here. The possibility of the seventh officer is this particular person. I'm gonna move it back so you guys can see the face here in a second. But according to somebody on Facebook, they say my sources state that the seventh officer relieved of duty in the Tyre Nichols case is Lieutenant Dwayne Maurice Smith, a 25-year vet who just stood around the scene. So this seventh officer allegedly, and again, let me say this is rumor and rumor alone, okay? But they are saying, and until it's proven positive, okay? They're saying that this gentleman here was in the back watching, but did not partake in anything. But the fact that he wasn't there, the fact that he was there and he didn't stop it, makes him part of the problem. If you ain't in there trying to stop the problem, you are a part of the problem. Remember this? Remember this? Remember this right here? Hold on. Remember this? Why is that thing popping up? Remember this? DOJ, it directs the DOJ to create uniform accreditation standards for law enforcement agencies and requires law enforcement officers to complete training on racial profiling, implicit bias, and the most important part of it all, the duty to intervene. Let me blow this up so you guys can see this. The duty to intervene when another officer uses excessive force. Why is this suddenly a brand new thing for these officers? So if this officer, this seventh officer, was really there and he was chilling in the cut on the sidelines, watching in the nosebleed seats while this young man's life is being taken right in front of him, and he didn't do nothing, then something is up here. And why are they not teaching this? Why are they not teaching this ish already? The duty to intervene when another officer uses excessive force. There were 7, 8, 9, 10, some other cops attacking this dude like hyenas on a carcass. You're telling me this dude just stood there and did nothing? Damn right he's relieved of his duty. Damn right he is relieved of his duty. Are you kidding me? So let me continue this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get riled up, but that's just the most ridiculous thing. He just chilling in the cut like this. He's on the sidelines watching all this stuff go down. Mean mugging. Meh. As this young man is taking the beating of his life. So let me repeat this one more time. If this is still rumor mill, but again, the fact that they have to write this in this part, all of this is great, but this part, this last paragraph should already be implemented in trainings. They should already do this. Have mercy, y'all. Especially the last part. Yes, racial profiling and all that. Absolutely. Implicit bias, yes. But the duty to intervene when another officer uses excessive force. And this dude just stood there. Seventh cop apparently stood there and let it be. He just let it happen, y'all. But let me say this again so y'all can hear it in the nosebleed seats, because I didn't read the whole thing. I got worked up and I apologize. Let's get into this. So my sources state, and I don't know how solid his sources are, so just like I said, this is only rumor alone. But my sources state that the seventh officer relieved of duty in the Tyre Nichols case is Lieutenant Dwayne Maurice Smith. He is a 25-year vet who just stood around the scene. I'm told that Smith plans to meet Friday, some point this week, Friday, with the retirement board and get the hell out of effing Dodge before MPD throws him under the bus. So he's literally trying to see if he can get out with his pension so he can pack up and kick rocks so he doesn't get reprimanded. Let me zoom this out so you guys can see his full face. But this be the man. This him right there. I'll just let that sink in for a second. You could feel that though, right? Still, no matter what, this is a mother lover, allegedly, because this is still all alleged, that was chilling in the cut and let all this go down. Watched his brothers in blue do all these things. And trust me, you know for a fact, this brother, if it is true, has seen everything. Been there and done that. He has seen everything, okay? He has seen it all. He has seen the craziest. He has seen the most horrific and the saddest moments in his life on this job, okay? I'm sure he's calloused as all get out. But at the same time, the fact that he is maybe possibly meeting with the retirement board so he can walk out with his pension because he is a 25-year vet. He's been a cop for 25 years. He don't want to lose that pension. He don't want to miss that gold watch. Do they still do the gold watch, or is that just a movie thing? But anyway, imagine that, y'all. Imagine that. And now he's here. No bueno, y'all. No bueno. In my personal opinion, no bueno at all, man. Not good. Not good. And he's trying to see if he can have his cake and eat it too by kicking rocks before he gets in more trouble. Trying to leave with his pension before he gets in more trouble, before they really sink their teeth into him and the public sinks their teeth into him. But what's interesting is that they have not exposed him publicly. And I still wonder why. I know a lot of people were expecting or assuming that this cop could be white. And maybe that's the reason why they've been holding him back and doing him favors. But no, that particular man right there, that is not a white man. They could be holding him down or holding it down for this dude solely because he is a 25-year vet. Been in the game for 25 years. And maybe they haven't released his name because they don't want him to lose his pension because he served for 25 years. In my personal opinion, that don't work for me. You were still part of the problem. You should have been there. You should have stopped things. And you didn't. But again, that's only rumor, y'all. That be only rumor. Okay? So, that's one piece that I wanted to share with you guys as well. Now, there is another piece that I wanted to show you guys. This is my last piece. Let me say this again. I may open up the phone lines. I haven't said if I am or not. If I do open up the phone lines after this clip, y'all be respectful and brief. I mean, super brief. Okay? That is if I open up the phone lines. Don't call now. You will be hung up on because the phone lines are not on. Okay? You'll be getting nothing. And that's no bueno. Okay? But there is a video that I wanted to show you guys. Now, I don't know if you guys know a guy by the name of Jason Whitlock. He is a political commentator. He has his own show on YouTube. He's a YouTube creator. Well, you know, he's kind of like in the same realm as like Candace Owens in that realm. You know, he's like a black conservative commentator. I really like his show, like the way it's laid out, the way it looks. Okay, I don't really agree with a lot of things that he says, but I do listen to him from time to time, just to hear what he has to say about certain things, right? Because it's nice to hear opposing views. Okay, from time to time, I listen to a lot of people. All right, I listen to Ben Shapiro. Sometimes I listen to Candace Owens, just to hear opposing views on on topics. It helps you open up your minds just a little bit. Okay. So Jason Whitlock recently was on somebody I don't listen to at all, Tucker Carlson. Okay, I do not listen to that guy at all. Okay, he laughs funny. He just, but he laughs funny, guys. But anyway, and I just don't like him at all. But he was on Tucker Carlson, and the only reason why I know about this is because it went viral. Because Tucker Carlson brought Jason Whitlock onto his show to talk about this tragedy that recently happened with Tyre Nichols. And this is what I was saying before, how you just Fox, man. Fox News has a tendency to just do some things. You feel me? They have a tendency to just take something that's just a tragedy and they spin it on its head. And then on top of it, they bring a person of color to emphasize on that. But this here was something else. Yesterday, I was trying to show this to you guys. I didn't get a chance to. I'm going to show it to you guys now. It's a short clip, but sometimes I just feel like they be reaching sometimes, y'all. So let's take a look at this video right here. Jason Whitlock was on Tucker Carlson's show, and he had some things to say. He just had some things to say. Can we just take a listen to this? Let's take a listen. All right. But let me say this. In no way, shape, or forms am I going to try to be disrespectful to the man. Let me just say that first. Because I'm not down for that. I don't like Tucker Carlson, so I go into him all the time. I don't care. But Jason Whitlock, though, I'm just wondering where he was coming from when he said this. Let's take a listen to what he had to say. He said something about baby mom. He said something about baby mamas. Just take a listen. Ay.
Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all time, because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what, this is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
Okay. I don't agree with this at all. To me, this is a shot in the dark, out of left field BS reaction to this situation that is tailored specifically to keep someone like Tucker Carlson smiling. I said it. I don't care. This, what Jason Whitlock said here, I don't agree with at all. So you're saying that because the police force in Memphis is run by a woman, that's why there is chaos going on. I'm going to play it again because I want to make sure that we're understanding this properly. All right. And I know that he went on to his show because I watched them all. Trust me, every morning I'm doing my early morning runs in the morning and all that stuff. And I'm listening to the things. And I listened to 2 shows over the past couple days. One of them was an hour something long, and another one was like 3 hours and 20 minutes long, where he's just sitting there talking about the matriarchy and how it's destroying the fact that the traditional family structure doesn't exist and it's destroying the black community and all this stuff. I listen to all that, okay? Listen to all of that. One thing I will say is that it's destroying all communities. It's not just the black community, but that has nothing to do with a young man getting his life taken in the middle of the streets. I'm going to play it again, though, because, like I said, I need y'all to hear from the nosebleed seats one more again, because even for me, I'm going, this don't make no sense. Because I can show you plenty of other places that are run by even white and black men that are chief of police, and still men and women are still dying at the hands of the police. So make this make sense to me. Again, let me roll this again. This don't make sense. Let's go.
Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers.
Okay. So you're telling me that, this is the thing. I will always try to stand on the side of right. Okay. So what happened to this young man is not just at all. Why aren't you talking about that? Why are we talking about the chief of police? And actually, what you should be talking about in regards to the chief of police is the fact that she's corrupt too. And it doesn't matter what sex this chief of police is. Corrupt is corrupt. Corruption has no gender, right? Corruption has no gender. This could have been a black, white, Asian, Mexican, okay? Any race under the sun, chief of police. And if this happened under their guise, then you would still sit here and go, that was wrong leadership. That shows corruption. Corruption. Not, oh, it's a woman, so therefore this is a weak police department. That makes no sense. This single mother mentality and all that stuff. Let me say this too, because he in his live or in one of his shows, he talks about in his shows, he talks about how the matriarchy is taking over the black community, and that they're like basically that there aren't any strong male leads in the black community. Okay. And how it's affecting young men to become thugs and be unruly, all that. But let me tell you this. All 5 of those cops were black, at least the ones that were in this video. All of them were black. So what does it say about them too? So because of the matriarchy being top in the black community, this is the reason why they're getting mad. He even said the dear mama, the Tupac dear mama approach to things. So suddenly they went from growing up without parents, without a father figure to look up to becoming cops so that they can beat this young man and get their frustration about not having a father out of their system in this one moment. It just doesn't make sense to me, y'all. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. Now, as far as the world that we see today, yes, I do think that there are things in the traditional, obviously it's changed. The traditional breakdown of a family household is completely different. It is not the same everywhere. There are plenty of single fathers and plenty of single mothers, all in all races, okay, and in all economic demographics as well. So the traditional breakdown of a nuclear family does not exist as much as it used to. But that still doesn't justify why these men went off and did this to this young man. Period. It's just wild to me that you have intelligent people that are out here trying to find any excuse under the sun to justify why there was violence like this that we all saw, instead of looking at it and calling it what it is: a moment of absolute inhumane violence. That's it. But instead, you decide to take this moment and try to spin it on its end to say that the reason why there was chaos like this is because this police department is being led by a woman. But see, that's the thing. You're forgetting that one thing. This was led by allegedly a chief of police officer that has a crap ton of corruption under her belt. But we could say the same thing on other police departments throughout the country where men and women have lost their lives at the feet of the police. There's corruption everywhere, y'all. And a lot of those chief of police are men, and majority of them are white. So why would you sit here and say something like this? Why? To me, what he's saying is not correct at all. It's not. And again, another really, really sad excuse to sound good on Fox News, to possibly get some more viewers, get some more people rocking with your ish. Oh, I like him. Let me subscribe. Instead of actually calling it what it is, like I said. It's wrong, man. And again, I do not agree. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I wish he came at that a different way. And I'm sitting here saying that I watch his show from time to time just to see what the other half of the world is thinking, because sometimes you get into that echo chamber and you hear a lot of stuff, right? You hear the same thing over and over again. You're like, let me hear a different opinion. And I'll turn his stuff on just to see what's up. just to hear that different opinion. And a lot of it's like, okay, all right. But at the same time, how can you be so disrespectful? Especially the same thing. He is also a man that grew up in a single household. He was raised by his own mother. Parents were divorced. He lived in the inner city. All that. How could he sit here and say this kind of stuff? It just doesn't make sense. And I wish somebody would just show him the light, show him a different perspective, because it's not right, y'all. It's not right. So, let me open up the phone lines. Hold on. I haven't opened them up yet. So don't call yet. Do not. I repeat, do not. I said, do not call in yet. All right. The Human Rights Movement Curry just said, so he was describing himself. And now it's making sense, shaking my head. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. He literally was describing his doggone self. So what's up with that? Why would you sit there and say that, man? Again, it doesn't make sense. And then the funny thing is, before I open up the phone lines, like I said, it's going to be brief. Very, 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 very brief. But one thing that was very interesting about this, though, too, was that he went on to his show later and he was like, well, I only had a certain amount of time to speak on what I had to say because it's television. I couldn't, elaborate more on it and so on and so forth. So therefore, I couldn't do that, this, that, and the third, carry the one, divisible by two kind of thing. Well, you still said what you said. Right? You still said what you said. And on a channel and a show that is known to be trash. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people that love them some Tucky, but I don't. But I feel like he was on there and he just shot from the hip, made up something to try to make it sound justifiable. And it's like, yep, because the black community, all they have is baby mamas, and illegitimate daddies that walk out the door to go get a pack of cigarettes and never come home. So this does make sense. Yeah. It's a matriarch. That's why it's a matriarchal society. And that's the reason why. That makes total sense. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tucky Carlson. Appreciate it, Tucky. Huh? Thank you for bringing him on, because he is the one to speak on behalf of the entire black community. I feel like he misspoke, but then he still doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on that ish, y'all. No. I'm sorry. Bad, not the greatest response, in my personal opinion. All right. Yes, the black community does need certain things, so on and so forth. Yes, but there's a lot of the community in its whole needs some things too. It's not just the black community no more. Okay, it is expanded. It's everywhere. Okay, I'll just say it. Fuzz, thank you so much for the 5. I would love to call in, but I'm having a sneezing attack. Just want to say thank you for covering these rough topics, Pascal. Anytime. This is, I do enjoy being able to have these conversations with this too. Okay? Shelly, thank you so much for saying that. I agree with a lot of what Tucker's shows represent to a degree. I'm definitely more conservative, and that's fine. You are always welcome here, sweetheart. Real talk, okay? Everyone's welcome here, all right? As long as it's respectful, and you're willing to hear out and listen, right? And talk in a diplomatic and responsible and respectful way, right? But sometimes Tucker's show is over the top. Yes. So you see stuff like that, and it's like, what? And sure, it's clickbait stuff for him. So there's more and more people that are getting more and more hip to Tucker Carlson and getting to know who the F he is, right? Oh, I like that he brought this guy on. I completely agree. You know what I mean? And hey, it is what it is. But at the same time, let's see. That's interesting. What's Sinan saying? Hold on. Where is that? I'm looking for it. Oh, I don't see it. It must have disappeared. But let me just say this. I like having conversations and talking about things and having an open mind about things, of course. That's why I listen to everything. You'll see videos that I show here that are from Fox News. There are videos that I show you from CNN, MSNBC. I show you everything for the most part. All right. I wouldn't sit here and say that I only listen to liberal media. Okay. I am more left leaning. I will say that. But I am no way, shape, or form conservative, but I do listen to conservative content, conservative videos, etc., because I care about having an open perspective on things. I try to keep it fairly balanced to a certain extent, to a certain degree. I have opinions because I am me, like you are you, right? But I do listen to other people because I want to hear what they have to say about things. That's the only way that you can grow, expand, become a better critical thinker, hearing other arguments and hearing other thoughts. So I listen to everything. I do not watch Tucker Carlson. No disrespect to anybody who watches Tucker Carlson. That's on you. What you do in your home and what you consume with your own eyeballs is on you. But I do listen and watch a lot of everything. It doesn't mean that I have to agree with them, but I do still consume it because it's good to expand the brain and hear what the other half of the world is saying about a specific topic as well. And sometimes you find your own thing, right? You find your own medium, right? You find your own happy medium in your own mind. Sometimes you go, whoa, I actually do agree with this conservative perspective on this topic. And no, I don't agree with that liberal perspective. Or I don't agree with either of these two. This is my thought. And it's kind of in the middle. But that's how you become, oh, wait, hold on. I got to be careful when I say this because I'm not Kanye. But this is how you become, in my personal opinion, more of a free thinker. You see both perspectives and you come up with your own thoughts. Not just, oh, I agree because that's what the left says. So the left says I got to say it that way. Or conservatives say, oh, because I got to, grift to one side. Oh, let me speak on this just to make the people who listen who are conservative happy. Hell no. How can we really truly expand if we're always keeping ourselves in boxes? And I don't mean no yay. I ain't talking about Kanye. That's another conversation in itself, okay? Don't be jerks. Just don't be jerks. And realize that everyone has opinions. Damn. And just respect it. As long as it's not racist, anti-Semitic, or any of those crazy things, shoot. Just respect. Kelly Bruner, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate it. birth and hips. That kills me every time. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. Sam L, thank you. Totally agree. Thank you so much for the 5. Totally agree that watching both medias is the best way to find your own view. Thank you. No need to subscribe fully to one party. Majority of people don't. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. But at the same time, that's your life. You do what you do. Live your life, baby, and enjoy your life. And if that makes you happy, hey, do your thing. But for me, I want to think. I want to expand. Yes, I am set in certain ways. I am human, right? There are things that I believe in, and there's things I don't believe in. And there's no way you're going to make me change my mind on those things. But there's other things that I'm like, hey, let's talk about it, right? This is the reason why this show even exists. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So, Darlene, let me say this really quick before I open up the phone lines. I can't discuss politics with my son or one son. Total opposite opinions. See, this is the frustrating part about it. Okay, I'm just going to say that. That's the frustrating part about it. All of this, because as soon like I say that, like if I say one thing, like me saying I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson, there are people that will go, "Oh, I'm never watching this show again," just because I said I don't like Tucker Carlson, and that has nothing to do with politics. You see what I'm saying? If I say something that I don't agree about with Biden or Trump or Kamala Harris or anybody, there are going to be people that are so cutthroat over that stuff. And it's like, yo, man, like just chill. It's just an opinion. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad guy. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You just may think one way and I think another one. Damn, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Just let it be. But everyone wants to take it all serious and get all Ben Shapiro and, like wet ass P word. Like it's just ridiculous, y'all. Tranquilo. You know what I mean? It's okay, baby. I ain't mad at you. Just love your life. And enjoy a conversation or two that may open up your mind. That's it. Damn. All right. Phone lines are about to be open. Hold on. They're not open yet. Hold on. Sorry. Make sure this dang thing is open. All right. Man, hold up. What the heck? Try that again. Is it open? Yes. Phone line. Well, okay. Phone lines are open. You guys are eager today. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, this is Raven McCall.
Raven, what's up, girl? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just listening to you. I'm going to make this quick because you asked us to.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say I was raised that you respect other people for their opinion and you listen to their opinion because you might just learn something that you didn't know. That if everyone in this world had believed the same way, it would be a very boring place to live. I'm no kid. I have tried to live that way all my life. It has become extremely difficult as of late, but I'm so glad I do because that's all I know. It's all I know.
Exactly.
So, Pascal, I want to thank you. I want to thank my family. You guys keep me going. It's such a positive place to be, and you just don't know what you all do for my spirit. All of you.
Well, Raven, I appreciate you calling in. And yes, I mean, yeah, it's all about that, right? It's having the conversations and being able to think outside the box a little bit, right?
Yes.
And be respectful. And that's it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. It is so easy. It's so much easier to be nice than it is to be mean.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Less energy on our part.
Yes.
Much less energy. So, but I thank you so much, and keep doing what you're doing, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here with you.
Thank you, Raven. I appreciate it, sweetheart. Thank
You
you
are
so much.
welcome. Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Yo, Tyler, what's up, man?
Oh, hey.
What's good?
Hold on, I just gotta. I think I got a little thing. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna be brief, but I'm just gonna say thank you for these conversations, and thank you for getting everybody together, regardless of political beliefs. I've been thinking about things that people would usually look at first thing and say, oh, like this is way too extreme and way too radical. But I've been thinking, I feel like we need to move away from a system of policing, or at least move away from what we've been doing in general. Like I think mere reform of the system is not going to change the fundamentals in this unjust system. And I think eventually moving away from something like what we have right now. I know there's going to be people in chat that are going to be like, oh, Tyler, you're crazy. You're like, you're not thinking straight. You're too young. You'll learn. But I don't know. I'm just, I mean, I've heard other people talk about this. I've heard Olay, whatever her last name is, Olay.
Yeah, Olay's great. I've been trying to get her on the show. So hopefully we get her on very, very soon, because I'd love to get her opinion on the show.
Yeah, she's been talking about that sort of thing. Eventually moving away from a system of policing. Like I know I said earlier in chat, like we need legislation, and I'm saying that in the context of the system that we currently have right now.
Right.
And I'm saying that in the context of what we can do. And like my thing is with Kamala, like I know there are people that like her and all that, Kay has. My problem is, as much as she was pushing for it, and saying, oh, we need to get this done, we had 2 years to do it with both the House and the Senate under Democratic control, and it didn't happen. And that is mainly because the Senate filibuster did not, it wasn't done away with. Look, Senate Republicans were blocking it.
Right.
And it ended up dying in the Senate. And I was just disappointed that Kamala Harris did not use her power as vice president to at least call for the elimination of the filibuster to make sure that Justice and Policing Act got passed. I think, like I'm not gonna try and be all, oh, F all the parties, F everything, and I really dislike both parties, but I am like you, and I'm trying to understand both perspectives, even though I really despise people like Tucker Carlson and Jason Whitlock and all the rest. But yeah, you know.
Right. Let me say this really quick. So obviously, when it comes to these this policy that they're trying to put out, this George Floyd Policing Act, right? And obviously, they tried before, it failed. It fell apart in the Senate. Not a big surprise there. Let's just be completely real.
Right.
Now, they can try it again. Maybe it can go through, but I don't know if it will.
I mean, the House is in Republican hands now. Do you really think they're going to take that up?
No, I don't think so. But given the fact that we just had this tragedy, we had all this happen, the world is really
watching to see
the
what
world
happens.
is really watching right now to see what happens. Absolutely. And so maybe there's going to be something here. Maybe we'll see something happen here. I don't know. But a part of me does not feel like by her going up and making a speech is going to change anything. It's frustrating to say that. And I said it before, I ain't trying to be negative, but I am also trying to be realistic here. And the realistic side of this is we already know the things that are coming that are at bay. If they go, yes, let's do it again, let's push it through, so on and so forth. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work this time or not. I see her trying to use this opportunity to step on her soapbox and go, let's move and push for this policing act. But
and to be fair, the mom wanted her there, I heard.
Say it again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
And to be fair, I heard the mom wanted her there. Wanted Kamala to be there.
Absolutely. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she wanted Biden there too. You know what I mean? If she could have had Tyson Beckford, Denzel Washington, and Michael B. Jordan there at the same time, yeah, I'm sure those guys would have showed up too. And no disrespect to the family, I'm just saying. If she would have, of course, because the more people that have eyes on this funeral, the more maybe they can make a change, right? Maybe this could spark a flame under some people's butts to do something. More protests out there, peaceful protests out there, and hopefully making a change out here. But Tyler, I got to let you go.
Actually, one more thing.
Real quick.
Sorry. Sorry. I know I went longer. But I think the thing is, you can say all the right things. And I know Kamala, she said all the right things.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, are you going to do anything? That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. And here it is, Tyler. They have to do something. But here's the thing. She has it in her hands now. If she goes up there and talks about it, it is in her hands to try to push. She has power. She has power. She has influence. She is the vice president of these United States. So hopefully she's going to use this opportunity to light up a flame under the House's ass and all that stuff so we can get things moving. But Tyler, thank you so much for calling. I'll talk to you here soon. Okay, brother? Talk to you.
Yes. See you then.
Peace. Tyler's got a point. Tyler's definitely got a point. Real quick, Sammy, thank you so much. Hold on. Hey, hold on real quick. I got a super chat. So hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, hold on. So real quick, Sam L., I wanted to say thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you. She says, I agree with Tyler. We have to acknowledge who is fighting against these policies. Tyree, what? I lost. Hold on. Hey, hold on 1 second, okay? Stay on the phone, but hold on 1 second. Don't hang up. I'm just reading this super chat. Hold on. All right. So thank you, Sam L., for the 5. She says, I agree with Tyler. We have to acknowledge who is fighting against these policies. Tyre was my boyfriend's friend. Wow. And this shouldn't have happened. That's what's up. Well, Sam L., I'm sorry I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry for this happened to you and to your boyfriend's friend. Man, if you have time to call in, please call in. I'd love to hear how the family is doing, or how your boyfriend is doing right now. I'm sure a lot of us would love to hear someone close to the family if you have time, Sam L. So thank you so much for calling in. Okay, so phone call. Hello, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Pascal, it's Keisha from St. Thomas, VI. How are you?
Keisha, it's been a minute. How you doing, sweetheart?
It's not been a minute for me. I've been watching, but it has been a minute.
Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you out here watching from the nosebleed seats, but it's nice to see you back on the phone call. So what's on your mind? Speak on it.
I was listening, and, I know a lot of us get weary in trying to achieve these goals about policing reform and voting rights and everything else that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to, call and just say, do not be weary in well doing, because in due season we will reap. We have to take our focus off of the people we think are going to make this change for us and know that we are the change we are looking for. They are not going to move for us. We have to move for ourselves. And what I mean by that is the powers that be that run these senators and congressmen and even the president, they're not the ones that are going to do it for us. We have to step in and say, listen, you're not going to get what you need and what you want from us if you don't do what we want. And it always happens like that. At the end of the civil rights movement, why did it end? It didn't end because Martin Luther King died. It ended because there was a huge riot and the country said, wait, we can't control this anymore. And I'm not saying people should riot or damage anything or hurt anyone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to make a decision, whether it's through boycotting things financially, whether it's through, where we shift our focus to and what we are going to give our energy to. If we are no longer giving our energy and our money and our belief in them to them, and we move it, they have to move with us. And that's why propaganda is always spinning to get the masses to move with the elites. They can't do what they want to do unless the masses allow it. So know that your power is not gone. And it isn't that we don't know what to do. It's that because we do know what to do and it hasn't been done. There has been federal commission after federal commission after federal commission to say what the problem is. The problem is we are giving money to this military complex in terms of local policing. Instead of putting the money in education, in healthcare, we're sending guns to a non-fight. And the guns that we're sending is built on reserve patrols, and we need to call it what it is. So why would we send someone who is meant to terrorize in order to put you back in order, what they think order is, instead of helping people, feeding people, clothing people, making sure they are healthy? If your body isn't healthy, if your mind isn't healthy, the whole community eventually will be sick because we're not curing anything. We're just covering it up and pushing it into jails and pushing them on the outskirts. But I don't want to take up all the time. I just wanted to tell people, don't be so downtrodden. We know what to do. We just have to decide. The change I'm looking for is me, and I'm not looking to Kamala to do it. I'm not looking to Joe to do it. I'm not looking either Joe Biden, Joe Manchin, not looking to McCarthy, and I'm not looking to anyone else. I'm looking to me. And how do I help the person on the street, the person across the way, my neighbor, my family, my friend? How do I help the school system? How do I help the medical system? What do we need to do that we can do? Not what you can't do. Do the little thing you can do and start moving forward. If they're standing still and watching them and begging, that's never going to work. You have to do it yourself.
You know what?
But I'm not going
to... It's interesting that you said that. No, just really quick before I let you go. It's interesting that you say that. Sometimes you lose sight. I think that's what happens with a lot of us. We lose sight of what the common goal is, or a goal that majority would like to achieve. But I feel like we lose sight because we see the journey. We don't visualize the end result. We're actually so focused on how long the journey could be and how much sweat equity you might have to exert just to get to that end goal, that I feel a lot of people become complacent, become lazy, and just say, well, it is what it is. Let me just continue doing what I'm doing now and focus on the surface things that don't really matter right now, right? So it is interesting that we do need to be more focused on and realize the power is within us. The power is within the people, but we're not realizing that. We're not doing that. We're becoming more and more complacent, AKA we're getting lazy as hell, y'all. I mean, that's what I think too.
Well, you know what? I used to think that, and I've shifted a little bit, and I'll tell you why. They did it in Camden, New Jersey. They've done it in different places and cities around the United States. And we need to stop shifting. We need to shift our focus from the naysayers in DC and start shifting our focus to the people who've already done it. We don't have to create this wheel. The wheel has been made. We just have to get on in the car or get on the train. Like, you know what I'm saying? How did they do it? We need to start lifting up those stories, of how it was done and tweak it for our city, our state. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those are the conversations we have to focus in on and bring to the forefront. And I really think that's what the media online is for, because people aren't really going to the mass media, the regular media, for the information. They're really doing it online more than ever now. I mean, it's really shifting. That's why CNN is online, NBC is online, Fox is online, because they're competing with the smaller little news outlets like your show to say, hey, guys, over here, switch your focus back to us. So people like you and people who have shows, and people who do their TikToks, start talking about, what's going on in Camden, New Jersey. How did they do it? I don't care what the rest of these naysayers are saying. It was done, so they didn't, get manna from heaven. They figured it out on the ground. So how'd they do it? And I think that would give us more hope.
That's what's up. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much, Keisha. I appreciate you calling, okay?
Thanks, Pascal.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
You too, sweetheart.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Pascal. My name is Tina. I'm calling from Georgia.
Gina from Georgia. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for talking about so many subjects that I don't think I would have even heard about unless, you had the passion to bring them up.
Well, anytime.
But I want to talk about my naivety. I think I've been so naive because, when the thing happened with George Floyd and those cops got caught on tape and eventually got prosecuted, I thought, here we go. Finally, finally these cops are going to see that they can't get away with anything they want to. And now they're going to finally be checking themselves,
Right.
But it's gotten worse. And I just have no words for it. I mean, it's gotten so crazy, it's almost beyond words,
So, Gina, let me say this really quick. And it's okay that like how you're feeling. But I do want to say this though too, all right? What we saw with George Floyd, the reason why you are seeing like it feels like it's gotten worse is because the veil has been stripped from your eyes. You have finally saw the truth. You have finally witnessed what really happens with police and civilians out here in these streets. When George Floyd and all
what you mean by the veil being ripped away is
in other words,
I'm actually seeing probably things that have been happening to me for decades and decades, but I'm just now seeing it.
Bingo. That's exactly what it is. You know how, like, for example, let me just say this, and some people may disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But let me just say this really quick. You know how, like, if you drive like this is so random, but say that you drive like a Toyota Corolla, okay? A forest green Toyota Corolla, and you're driving this car around, and next thing you know, you see other either Toyota Corollas or for actual forest green Toyota Corollas. They seem to just pop out in front of you. Anytime you have that make of car, like you drive like a whatever you drive, right? Like what car do you drive, sweetheart?
Ford Explorer.
Okay, so you drive that Ford Explorer. Now I understand that's a little bit more of a car that you see more often in the streets, but say that you have a white Ford Explorer. You're driving around and
A
suddenly
lime green.
okay,
A lime green.
well, that's
Ford
very
Explorer.
unique. That's very, very unique. But let's just say it's a white Ford Explorer. You're driving around, all of a sudden you
Okay.
go, bang, I see them everywhere. I just see Ford Explorers everywhere. I feel what happened is you saw something and you got shook out of the matrix in a way. Okay, for lack of a better term. You got shook out of the system in a little bit, and you woke up a little bit. And I'm not calling you woke. I'm just saying you kind of opened up
No,
your
you're fine.
eyes. You opened up your eyes a little bit and realized that there really is police brutality out here. And then all of a sudden, everywhere, not everywhere, but places that you turn, you start to see these stories pop up more and more. Maybe back in the day, those were stories that you kind of saw but didn't fully acknowledge. But now that you really fully acknowledge that police brutality is real and that what happened with George Floyd is such a travesty, you're now seeing the truth on how police can sometimes police out here in these streets. So you literally just got the veil, okay, stripped right from your eyes. And now you're actually seeing what a lot of us have been seeing for decades.
Right. Can I ask you a question though?
Shoot.
Just because I want to know, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
I mean, has it gotten worse? I mean, when you're shooting amputees and
okay, let me
I
say,
can't hear you.
Oh, I haven't said.
Oh, there you are.
I didn't say anything yet. I was waiting for you to finish. So I'll say this: has it gotten worse? The severity of policing out here in these streets have always been the same. The only difference is now it is more in our face. We are seeing it on.
Okay.
People are capturing these things on camera. People are using their phones. They're using GoPros. We're seeing them in
Right.
security cam footage, so on and so forth, to the point where we're just seeing the truth now. Sometimes they are debunked to realize that, okay, maybe that guy really did do what he did, and you know what came to him, what happened to him was deserved, was justified. And then there's other ones where, yeah, you know, a man gets attacked in the middle of a street out of nowhere and loses his life 3 days later, like Tyre Nichols, right? So
Right.
I think that now that technology is such a huge thing now, and everyone has a camera and everyone's filming everything, Snapchatting, making IG stories, using them for live streaming or doing little YouTube videos, it's a lot easier to see it with your own two eyes now, to have access to see those events rather than just hearing that story, right? And then, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And showing proof positive now of the unjust that basically was displayed. You see what I'm saying? Now it's not any hearsay anymore.
I do.
It's not street
But
talk.
one last question.
Okay.
And I'll let you go because I don't want to take up your time.
Sure.
But with the amount of technology and cameras out there, and even the security cameras on the streets, like we seen with Tyre,
Right.
Why do you think the police aren't backing off, or their evilness isn't trying to be more discreet, or they know they're being watched, they know it's being taped, their lives are being shown? So what makes them so bold? Are they being covered, or?
You know, that's a good question. And I think that's what majority of the world is still trying to figure out right now, Gina. We're all still trying to figure out, why do all these cops believe that they are above the law? Why are they all walking out here? Not all of them, but why are a good portion of them running out here acting like they're Judge Dredd, where they're the jury, the judge, and the executioner? You want to know what it is? They're learning it from other cops. It's generational. These things are getting passed down. They're seeing how they can finesse themselves through the cracks of the law. And then, honestly, before the cameras and the cell phones and all that were just readily available at in your pockets, right? Sitting in your pockets. It was all word of mouth. And if the cops said what happened, that was scripture. Now that these cameras are in our phones and on security cameras everywhere, we're now truly finally seeing the truth. And again, that veil is lifting. It's gone now. And there's no way that these cops can run around doing this. And I think now, more than ever, they're starting to realize that more than ever right now. But they're still doing stupid things where they think they can get away with it, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's the only way to describe it. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, thank you.
No problem, Gina. I appreciate you calling in, sweetheart. Seriously, thank you. I'm glad you called.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too, sweetheart. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And guys, that is the Speak On It segment, guys. Like I said, it was going to be short today. All right. But I do appreciate every single last one of y'all who called in. But I think that was a good way to end the show. And hopefully you guys understood that. And I appreciate someone calling in. I appreciate Gina calling in and having that conversation, because yes, the veil has been ripped, has been stripped, y'all. It's officially gone more than ever now that we saw something like what we saw. There is no way to make excuses like what we saw with Jason Whitlock, the excuses that he was pulling out. There is no way. There's no way you can sit here and try to justify what happened to that young man by saying that the matriarch, is the reason for all of this. It's just ridiculous to me. It's a sad excuse to something that should not have happened in the first place. Okay. And every single last one of y'all who have called in, really great conversations. America First said, great analogy on the vehicles and aware, the great awakening. Yes. Don't go back to sleep. Get involved locally. I agree, America First. But yes, exactly. It's like the vehicles thing. You got that car, then you suddenly see your car everywhere. You got everyone driving your car. Okay? You see George Floyd's situation, and if that hits you in a visceral way that moves you and goes, "Oh my Lord, I can't believe that happened to this man," then all of a sudden you start to see other things. You start to see the same thing, but in different ways out there. The veil gets lifted. The blindfolds are off. The truth is out here. And now that technology is a real thing in your face, you can't deny it. But there's a lot of media outlets that are trying to still push back, trying to find ways to justify things. Like when they said about George Floyd and the fentanyl and all that stuff, they try to find every single type of excuse by moving the goalpost as often as they can instead of just looking at the truth, looking at the video, looking at what they see in the video. This particular situation with Tyre Nichols, so far from what we've heard, there is no drugs, recreational, nothing like that involved. He was taking photos of a sunset, y'all. He wasn't running from a B&E, okay, a breaking and entering. He wasn't robbing a joint. He was driving home to his mother's place. And he still got pulled over and lost his life. A peaceful young man that didn't ask for none of this. There's no way you can sit here and go, oh, because it was the police chief is female, that's the reason why this chaos happened. That makes no sense to me, guys. Quit moving the goalpost and look at what it is at bare bones. This was an unjust moment of a bunch of men defying humanity and taking a young man's life. That is what it is, straight up and down, like 6 o'clock. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for being on here. I really do. It really does mean a lot. Again, for those of you guys who watch that do agree or don't agree, without you guys, I wouldn't be having a conversation with y'all. Okay? So I appreciate all y'all for being here, chopping it up with me. Seriously, you guys have been amazing. Okay? And MJ, for real, absolutely. Lost his life for taking photos of a sunset. This is just crazy. Absolutely. So hopefully we'll get more truth, more transparency revolving around this. And hopefully we get justice. We'll see what happens here, guys. But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Do not forget to hit that like button down below. I'd really, really appreciate it. And most definitely do not forget to hit that subscribe button. All right. We're almost in the 90s. Ooh, we're almost in the 90s, baby. All right. We're almost there. I appreciate all y'all. Great phone calls. Those were really fantastic. I really appreciate y'all. And Simone, what's up, Simone? Yes, I agree. Absolutely ridiculous on so many levels. All right. I'm hoping, I'm still hopeful. I still pray that this is the last time we hear this kind of BS. I hope so, but we'll see. We'll see, guys. Again, hit that like button. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next show. Have a great, wonderful, and blessed night. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another, and I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.